We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dugout Football channel and welcome to the return of the World of Football podcast live on the Dugout Football channel. And as you can see, the full crew are here. My co-host to my right-hand side is Josh. How you doing, Josh?
Yeah, very good. We're back to Monday night action. The season's 2 weeks away. The Scottish League's underway. Of course, we've got the European Super League to ruin it all for us. But, everything's coming back to normal. How amazing.
Absolutely. We also have the Welshman who's managing to get to some games again, and we're seeing all of his vlogs again. It is Mr. Nathan Morgan. Nathan, welcome back, my friend. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me on for yet again another season, Doug. Really appreciate it. The best league in the world, the Championship, restarts this Friday night. I can't wait for it. Bring it on. And the Premier League, of course, is back next week. Another smaller league.
We have the Scotsman who enjoyed a 3-0 victory over my team at the weekend. It's Mr. Reese Russell. How you doing, Reese?
I'm all good. Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. And also, we have Mr. George Kyle with us as well. How you doing, George?
Very good, Doug, thank you. Yep, I'm excited to be back, obviously a new season and a regular part of the crew now as well. So, yeah, very...
Listen, we're going to have so much social runs during the course of this season 2 of the podcast. God, everyone be prepared, please. It's going to be painful.
Yeah, Kian, Hella, James... Ashley, Cedric, Liz, and Yeti Boy, good evening to you all as well. But before we do begin, now, if anyone does want to do fantasy football, then I'm just going to bring this up a little bit. So, if you type in that wee code, so it's 4SV7XV, that is my mini league for the Fantasy Premier League website. So if anyone wants to join that, you are absolutely free to do so as well. So if anyone wants to join that, then just press that, and everybody is welcome on that as well. Hello to Zubin Davar as well. Hope you're doing well. I think I've probably butchered your second name, my friend, but I know from interacting with you on Twitter, you are a lovely man. Oh, there's Reese's team already as well. So now I suppose we have to discuss the elephant in the room yet again. Is more bad news. Is the European Super League back on? Well, I'm going to read you what I've seen on BBC Sport. So this is what it says. Barcelona, Real Madrid and Juventus say they will continue with plans for a European Super League, claiming to have successfully argued against any punishment by UEFA. A joint statement from the three clubs said a court decision on Friday in Madrid means European football's governing body have an obligation to terminate disciplinary proceedings against them. UEFA paused action in June when the case was pressed to the European Court of Justice. 12 clubs announced themselves as founder members of the Super League in April, but the proposed breakaway competition collapsed within 72 hours after 9 withdrew amid fan protest opposition from UEFA, FIFA and domestic leagues, as well as the British government and the royal family. UEFA, Barca and Real are the only sides not to have renounced the breakaway league and have again reiterated their intention to keep developing the Super League project. They added that they intend to do so by working with governing bodies, leagues, fans, players, managers and clubs, all stakeholders which opposed the breakaway competition when it was initially announced. Clubs participating in European competitions have the right to govern their own competitions, the clubs continue in a statement. We're pleased that going forward we will no longer be subject to UEFA's ongoing threats. We are aware that there are elements of our proposal that should be reviewed and, of course, be improved through dialogue and consensus. We remain confident in the success of a project that will be always compliant with European laws. UEFA has declined to respond to the statement from the three clubs. The 9 which have distanced themselves, Manchester City, Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, Inter Milan, AC Milan and Atletico Madrid were handed financial punishments by UEFA in May. The case will be assessed by the European Court of Justice in Luxembourg, which shall review UEFA's monopolistic position over European football. The court backs the request made by the promoters of the European Super League, dismisses UEFA's appeal and confirms its warning to UEFA that failure to comply with its ruling shall result in fines and potential criminal liability. So basically, to say this into a few words, everyone is still in. They've obviously signed a contract, and this court is saying that basically, if you want to leave, you have to pay big money. Josh, your reaction to this?
Not worried at all. I'm generally not worried. I think this is just big PR media talk from the three big clubs. Like, can we just say that it's not a coincidence at all? These three big clubs are coming out when they are barely struggling to sign a player from League Two. You know, Barcelona can't afford anyone to save their lives. Real Madrid are stuck with an aging squad, and that's why Ancelotti's been hard. And Juventus have got such a high wage bill, like Aaron Ramsey on $300K a week for absolutely no reason at all. It's no surprise that all of these teams are coming out saying, "Oh, these teams are still in the Super League, still happening." It's all PR talk, it's all scare talk, simply because these teams have money. Because Barcelona, as we know, are literally on the brink of dying. Real Madrid have got a big overhaul with barely any funds to work with, and Juventus's wage bill is incredibly high. It's simple. It's PR talk. It's scare talk. You know, why has it took 4 or 5 months for this court to rule something that was so simple? If it was a contract signed, you know, wouldn't have all these details. I think the timing, it's just all PR stunts. It's the three big European Super League, these big three clubs are simply scared. I see nothing. If it's going to die within a month or two. The Premier League has already put their foot down. FIFA's put their foot down. UEFA's put their foot down. The government's put their foot down. There is absolutely nothing to worry about. It is simply just PR talk.
Simply just PR talk. Nathan, what about you?
Yeah, I can't agree enough with Josh. And honestly, you could say that it's what happens when you don't read the small print in these things. And they knew that there was going to be this massive backlash with it. So why sign up to it in the first place? They could have provisionally signed up and say, right, we're going to sign up, but we're not going to agree if we have to pull out due to punishment from our governments and stuff. If we have to pull out, we're not going to sign that contract unless you get rid of that stupid rule. And in a way, it's their own fault for doing it. But Perez is an idiot. He needs to be removed from the sport as soon as possible.
Yep, I would absolutely agree. Reese, what's your reaction to this?
Honestly, I don't care about the Super League. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't see anything except noise. But if anything does happen, the ramifications will be severe. So yeah. I don't see anything except hefty fines, financial punishment, European exclusion, and domestic league kick out if it goes ahead. I don't see anything really. Yeah.
George, what's your reaction to this?
I think it's just basically sort of the punishments, the actions of the past coming back to haunt the owners now. They were fully aware of those, the fines they were going to receive, but they clearly misguidedly, through their own greed and avarice, they thought that they would, go ahead with this because ultimately they just wanted the money from it. And now they're going to have to face the punishment. What is good, obviously, is that it will, I think, again, relight or reignite the fires. Obviously, we talk behind the movements to get some of the owners out again, because obviously, if these fines do have to be paid, again, it's it's whether the owners will be prepared to pay those out of their own pockets or take money out of the club, which again will anger fans again. So there might be some good coming of it, but I don't see anything happening in the near future with regards to the Super League. But what I would say is that unless, obviously, the various greedy owners that all the clubs have, apart from I think with City and Chelsea, I don't necessarily think they would, deign to go back in, obviously for any reason. But I think with a lot of the other owners of the clubs, this might be an opportunity now to remove them, because I think if you keep them there, then they will, I think in a couple of years' time, maybe even sooner, they'll start trying to manoeuvre this again. So I think once they've tried it once, they'll keep on sort of going back and back, because the money is just too great of a opportunity for them.
Yeah. What do we think of Perez? He is a very old man, and he has a brain that doesn't really function. I think that's safe to say as well. The Dirty Dozen must go. Yeah, absolutely agree. Good evening to Seamus as well. James, don't like Ayew, but that's harsh. It's not his fault. He's not very good at football. Like Ant and James are having a little bit of a chat about Ayew Perez there. UEFA and FIFA, Sky Sports, etc., killing the game we all love. We must all stand together and tell them all to F off. I would absolutely agree with
the Premier
Jack.
League into that as well, I reckon, because in addition to the Super League as well, the gap bridging between Premier League and lower league clubs is just going like that at the moment, where you're just going to now have teams yo-yo in between. And we've seen it loads. Macclesfield Town, Bury, Newport County, so many, Hereford United, so many teams to name, Chester City as well, so many teams going bust because the money is not flowing down the leagues properly. They need to, it has to be reformed.
Yeah, absolutely. But Josh, can you?
I think Barry was a bit different. I think Barry was a bit different because the owner of Barry was a disgraceful twat. There's some of the things he said after he went into liquidation about how he didn't support the club. He didn't even know what football was. He wasn't going to the tuning pitch. He wasn't investing any money. That's the stuff that we need to stop more than anything. Is owners like that have no interest in football.
Yeah, that's one of the thing on top of it as well, to vet the owners and everything. But if they can see that a club is in trouble and they fall into administration, then the financial backing needs to be there, especially from the EFL and stuff. But obviously it's not, because the funding isn't going there. It's all going straight to the Premier League and being locked in, which is just not good enough.
Well, hello to one of our regular contributors, and Mr. Connor Niblett of the Cop Council. Hi all, and no to European Super League. Yep, absolutely. And the FA don't care either, says Seamus Moore.
Very true.
Ashley Roberts says we'll support Salford United if Manchester United join European Super League. James Dunlop, we can give you Ayorazi pairs if you want. Him and Gray would win you the league. Wishful thinking, indeed. Yes, Josh. Yes, I'm not gonna copy what I was gonna say. But if anyone has actually missed us, then you will obviously know that Barcelona are in big financial doo-doo. I mean, Nathan, where do you start with Barcelona?
I mean, that's what happens when you throw so much money around and then you overfill your wage budget. Stupid. It's like giving yourself an unlimited budget on Football Manager and then completely forgetting that there's league regulations there. Absolutely stupid. And I'm sorry, but bringing it just, I'll have Aguero. Yeah, he's one of the Premier League's best players of all time. I'll have Phil Coutinho because he scores absolute rockets week in, week out. And then you don't realise that you got to have squad depth as well. And then it starts to pile up. But how do you get out of this, honestly? Where do you start?
I mean, Josh, I know obviously Chelsea lost to Barcelona in like a Champions League semi-final, but my goodness me, you must be enjoying what's actually happening to Barcelona.
Well, I obviously did a bit of research in this, prior to the show, and I was listening to, I don't know if any of you have ever heard a guy called Sid Lowe. He's an ESPN correspondent who does football, and he says something. He came up with some breaking news today that is seriously. There was two things. The first thing is that Barcelona are £3.2 million euros over the wage cap that is set in La Liga this season. All right. Number two, if Barcelona do not reduce their wage bill by two seasons' time, they will officially be down into liquidation. And three is that the head of the Spanish Football Association if they don't have their wage bill sorted out, they are going to be given a 20-point deduction by the start of the new La Liga season.
Gorgeous.
Oh my goodness me!
This is all from Sid Lowe, a tier one source. So this is not skeptical. This is on the nail from a Spanish correspondent. So we have Barcelona are in more trouble than you originally thought.
George, how can Barcelona just not look at their finances? 3.2 million over the wage budget.
That's what you do. The wages there are absolutely ridiculous, as we know. I mean, it's not only obviously of particular note is obviously Lionel Messi and Antoine Griezmann, who are both on exorbitant wages in particular. With Messi as well, I did think, obviously, as we may remember, last summer there was all the furore with Messi wanting to leave, and obviously, but there was a sad interview where he was saying, "Oh, I do need to sort of go." At the time, I did think he's definitely going to stay, and lo and behold, a year later, Did Barca win anything last season? I don't. Obviously,
Copa America. Sorry, Copa del Rey. Copa del Rey. Sorry.
Copa del Rey, yeah.
Copa America.
The sort of things that he was talking about. I mean, he particularly mentioned the Champions League. Obviously, they were nowhere close to that. Got absolutely humiliated by PSG, and there's very little chance, obviously, as we've spoken about, in terms of them signing anyone. So it's Messi, as I said, is probably going to stay there for a few more years now until he obviously retires or goes to America. But he's one person that they should maybe look to, or should never have given that higher wage to. And obviously, the other thing is that they're trying to get rid of, obviously, they're trying to get of Antoine Griezmann, aren't they, to Atletico Madrid, and Saul Niguez is supposed to go the other way. To try and reduce these wages, but it's whether that's going to happen or not, and I suspect it will do. But it is, what I'm not quite sure of is how, I can't remember exactly how much Griezmann's on, but it's something horrendous.
Just to answer that point, because it links in the way Neil said there about the more teams haven't came over players. There was a very small chance Manchester City were going to go for Griezmann, but Griezmann wanted 350k a week, and Man City said no straight away.
He already gets near double that a week at Barcelona.
Yes, yeah. So that's So I think it's going to be difficult for them to do it, and obviously he's going to have to take a massive wage cut if he does go to Atletico Madrid, with obviously Niguez going the other way. But yeah, I think Barcelona, unfortunately, that's what happens when you just pay them. You pay players far too much, and there are so many of the teams as well that are doing this now.
Here's a very key question: has Messi screwed Barcelona over by signing that new deal? Should Barcelona have just told Messi take a pay cut or get stuffed, regardless of how much of a legend he is? Because his finances could join Barcelona. That's the thing.
They should have done, but ultimately they were never going to. I mean, Messi sort of.
No one should be bigger than a football club. If for example, if any of our best players at Man United, Bruno Fernandes or Salah or Kiefer Moore for Cardiff, if these guys were on these massive wage bills and were stopping us from signing people that were already going to ruin us as a football club just for one individual, I would tell them to get stuffed and get out, regardless of how good they are.
Reese, are Barcelona going to be much of a threat in the Champions League this season?
Next question.
That's a good answer.
Honestly, I'm saying now, Barcelona are going to get absolutely humped, and it feels great. Mm-hmm. They're not going to present a challenge to anybody. No one.
I tell you now, controversy alarm. They might actually end up in the Europa League.
I'm going to go one further. They're going to finish bottom of their group.
Wow.
Yes, Josh, I think if he left Barca, would have folded La Liga. Makes so much money just of him. He's bigger than the league itself.
No one's bigger than a league or a club, though. It should never be that way. Football's going in a scary direction if that's what the case is.
The crazy thing is, Lionel Messi is the main reason that La Liga is like the biggest league in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, him and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Kane going along with 40 million a year.
Kane going along the same wavelength as Reese. Barcelona out in the group stage. Are Barca, Real Madrid and Juve banned from the Champions League? No, they are not. And funnily enough, I actually have the pots for the Champions League so far, and I can actually tell you what pots people are actually in. So at this moment in time, the pots are Chelsea, Villarreal, Atletico Madrid, Man City, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, Sporting CP, and Lille. That's pot 1. Pot 2, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Sevilla, Juventus, Manchester United, Liverpool, PSG, and Borussia Dortmund. Pot 3 is Ajax, FC Porto, RB Leipzig, Atalanta, and Zenit. And then pot 4, there's only 2. There's AC Milan and Wolfsburg. So whoever Barcelona get, I think they're going to get hammered.
Can we just agree that if my unlucky trait continues, the worst thing is if Rangers get to the Champions League group stage, I could potentially see Man United, Rangers, and AC Milan all in the same group, and then I'll have to die.
Who would you support in that, though, Bruce?
I would torch you every single week about that.
I wouldn't stop that. In all fairness, I would say Man United and Milan to get top 2 and Rangers third. That's all I would do. I can do.
That works out for the best then, because you have. Personally, I'd say Rangers have a bigger chance of winning Europa. So
elevator kid. I honestly don't know at the moment, But what I am planning to do, I am planning to actually do a live stream on the 26th of August, which is Thursday, the 26th of August, 5 o'clock. The Champions League group stage will be on, so you'll see my reaction. So, yeah, you'll see my reaction. So that should be good.
Working on the 26th. This guy.
Yeah. Please let there be another 8-2. Please. Another 8-2. Imagine.
I think the way the group stages are, I think Real Madrid are going to get. Yeah, Real Madrid are going to get the German winners, so they're going to get Bayern. They're going to get Bayern because they're in pot 2. Real Madrid are in pot 2, so I think Bayern are going to play Real Madrid. I think Liverpool are going to get Atletico, and I think Man United are going to get. I think Man United are going to get Sporting. And I've said that to you already. I said Sport. I think Man United. I've already said to you was Sporting, Milan, and
Neil. I absolutely agree with you. Pot 2 is stronger than pot 1.
Just very quickly as well, you're almost going to start with another Ollie out rant because I'm pretty sure you read out that Villarreal, obviously for winning the Europa League, are in pot 1. Yeah. So we've already got harder because of Ollie, obviously in that final. I mean, no one can tell me that he wasn't the main reason.
See George. See George. George is literally this fickle line. And like in the second you mentioned something about United, out! Wait, why did he do this? Why is McFred playing? Why are we on pot 2? Why did we get knocked out? That's just George. He's like literally that little fickle line,
That's true.
Is it Olympiacos that Rangers could get if they beat Malmo?
Olympiacos or Ludogorets.
Mambo's not easy. They always make good.
They are a good side. Beat Hibernian 10-0 in aggregate the last time they played. They won 7-0 at Easter Road and won 3-0 in Sweden.
This is a really random. This is a really random point, but they played Ballymena in the qualifying stages 2 seasons ago, and they bet them 8-0 over 2 games.
They also beat Rangers a decade ago.
That's a decade ago. That's irrelevant.
Cup Council says we'll get Leo. Actually, Connor messaged me after the stream. I want to speak to you about that. Man United will win the Champions League.
No, we won't. We'll get quarterfinals.
Yeah, I don't see that.
You see George's poise in his face there.
I think we'll get quarterfinals. Like we'll see. We'll take it from there. We've got to get the group stage.
I actually think. Well, PSG haven't started the season very, very well, have they? They lost 1-0 to Lille in the whatever that competition's called, the Coupe de Trumps, is it?
Coupe de Trophée or whatever it's called. They've got so many bizarre names for their trophies, but mind you, it's the language, so expect that. I'll say this though. He's lost 8 of his 35 games as PSG manager. That's a 20.75% percentage for out of his games he's lost.
Neil, I have to give you a correction. Everyone who isn't a Man United fan plus George.
We will come to that because we have definitely been thinking about speaking about the SPFL before we obviously do the big one is obviously our Premier League predictions as well. Connor, it's nothing bad. It's just I'll message you after. Football goals. Tottenham to finish bottom 10 if they lose Kane.
I think if Tottenham sell Kane right, they'll sign Raul Jimenez.
What does that?
I'll answer this one because as someone who supports a lower league club in terms of like the Irish League, the European Conference League is very beneficial to us because it gives us more of a financial opportunity. As Reece is literally showing, it is more of a financial opportunity for us who doesn't have the funds. Also, the likes of Larne and Linfield have managed to make it to the second to last quarter final, meaning that we're only two rounds away from getting into the group stage, which would be the first time an Irish League team ever makes it into the European group stages in their history. If Lauren beat this Portuguese team, they'll play Spurs, which if Lauren beat Spurs magnificently out of blue, could you imagine the scenes of a Northern Irish team in the Irish League knock out Spurs? Yeah, so the Conference League is to basically anyone who supports a top 6 team. The Conference League is The conference league is irrelevant. The conference league's irrelevant unless you're someone like me who supports someone really lower league like Glenavon in the Irish League. Otherwise, it's irrelevant to anyone. So it is actually really beneficial. I just don't think many people are going to spend their time watching it.
I'll just say this. Nothing changes with us. World of Football Podcast, and Keane comes up with these brilliant comments. I still believe the Conference League sounds like an accountant's meeting room, and it's Johnson with the quarterly reports. He's scored. Here's a good question from Jack Mack. Any of the lads reckon Danny Ings will move before the window shuts?
No.
I think Leeds might look at him, but I don't know if he'll move.
He won't go to Leeds.
He'll start at Southampton this season.
It would be a good opportunity if he went there, though.
I saw him play the other day against Cardiff, and he just looked out of it, to be fair. I think he's going to have a patchy as anything season, yeah. Really impressive. He was subbed in about the 60th minute, but Che Adams is one to watch, and, well, we can get onto that in the Premier League section later.
Yep. Let Paul Pogba turn up for Man United training and see how the English medium fans go. Oh,
I'm going to make a statement. I want everyone to clip this, all right? Because this is hard. I know it's unlikely this, but I'm going to do it on the behalf of the Irish League. If Lorne do beat the Portuguese team, all right, and do play Spurs in the final qualifying round to go into the group stages, I will pay Doug a £50 donation live on YouTube if Lorne beats Spurs and get through to the group stages of the European Conference.
You're going to need all I'm going to say is, have you been smoking a lot of weed?
Quite possible. But I think Man City will get another easy group. Breaking San Marino qualify for the Europa League.
I
don't think they will this time. Funny is, I think City will get a fairly difficult group, although I've been saying that for like 5 years.
I bloody hope so. Clip that chat. Yeah, definitely. So we are going to move on before we go on to what is the best thing about this show is we will go to the SPFL roundup. And where do we start? I think we have to start with Hearts Celtic. Josh, how long do you see Ongi Postoglu lasting as Celtic manager?
I feel bad for him because let's get this right. First of all, they've got two incompetent goalkeepers. Barkas and Scott Bean are just. I think Scott Bean's position of a Hearts second goal was some of the worst positioning of a goalkeeper I've ever seen in my life. Like the guy was he wasn't on his line, but he wasn't coming out for the ball. He was in no. And Barkas, they signed him from AKA Athens, thinking he was the next best thing. He's awful. And then, funny enough, Craig Gordon, their former goalkeeper, who they chucked out, literally saved two massive shots to give Hearts the win. I think and the defenders that they have, the defenders that these guys at Celtic have, the fullbacks are awful. The two centre backs, obviously, one of the best ones went to Brentford. Like their defence and their goalkeepers, Hearts deserve only won that game. Anton Edward looks like he's not interested in playing for Celtic, and the rest of the team simply bang average. Like I feel bad for the manager. He's not a great manager, but he's walked into a terrible toxic. The board aren't interested, the players aren't interested, or they're terrible. But honestly, Reece, you're in for one enjoyable season because Rangers are run away with that league. Because Celtic look absolutely horrible, and they aren't going to spend any money either.
No surprise to me with Celtic. The manager will not last the season. He needs players and fast. Nathan, how long does Postoglu have at Celtic?
I'll give him until Christmas. I reckon about November, December, when they realise that Rangers are just running away the league, and then you have the others such as Aberdeen, St Johnstone, Hibernian, maybe even Hearts as well with the way they played against them, breathing down their necks, maybe going above them, and Celtic sort of sliding out of those Europe or European Conference League places. You do have the split in Scotland where the league splits in half, or is that just Wales?
After the 33 games.
Yeah, I reckon that controversy, they could be in the bottom half of the split of the league. If they keep going with this way,
crisis mode.
Crisis mode indeed.
Oh.
Crisis mode indeed. Oh. Yeah,
I saw highlights of it, and they look absolutely awful. It is going to be a horrid season for them.
Joe Hart SOS.
Honestly, I don't know about any of you, but see when I seen Craig Gordon make those two big saves, I just couldn't all stop but laughing. The fact that you've literally got Celtic with two incompetent even the pre-season they lost their Champions League game to a side that they should be beaten, and then they got smacked by West Ham at home. Meanwhile, Rangers were drawn with Brighton, beaten the drew of Arsenal, didn't they? Bet Real Madrid. It's honestly like if you're Celtic, you're seriously worried. If you're a Celtic fan, and honestly, I don't know why. It's like the Rangers and the Celtic board have switched places of a few years ago. Celtic are doing exactly what Rangers were doing a few years ago. It's incredible.
Yeah, Celtic could find themselves struggling to get second this season. Yeah, Reece has just got yeah, absolutely. Benny Beningimi played well in his debut. I actually thought he had a pretty good game. Actually. Looks like he can pass the ball. Looks like he can tackle as well. So he looks a very, very good player. Go on, Mr. Russell. Have your say on the absolute shambles at Celtic.
Where do I begin? Right. They are fucking finished.
Is that it?
No, I'm not done.
I was gonna say.
They are the Arsenal of Scotland. That is the best way to sum up Celtic. Penny pinching for years, getting away with it because they had no real challenge. They don't have substance. They don't have style. They don't have competency at board level. Their manager. I don't care if you've won 2 Japanese titles. I could win the Japanese league with my eyes shut. Like it's a different level competition. And with all due respect, they are finished.
That could happen. That could happen, Rashane. Easily.
I gave them second out of pity, but after watching the game last night, well, Saturday, I should say.
Shocking. They were absolutely shocking. And
I just thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. I said something to my dad, and I messaged this to you guys, and I'll say it live on chat now for everyone else to hear. They're probably going to piss themselves. I said, Craig Gordon, he went to Celtic, won them trophies, went back to Hearts, got them promoted. On his first game back against Celtic, he done them dirty.
Okay, George, answer that one.
God, right, George, I'll throw in an extra one. Would you have Ollie, the current Celtic manager, or me, who could even win a league with Man City?
No, you'd fail.
I'd maybe I wouldn't go that far, Yeti boy, but I think obviously Rangers are definitely going to win the league again. Obviously,
done by January.
Yeah,
just watch.
Rangers are just, so far superior. It's an absolute joke. They're going to be, as Reece has said, it's done by January somewhere in that region, and yeah, it's going to be a one-horse race for the league. So yeah, that's obviously as you guys have already said, obviously for a Celtic fan, it's going to be a very terrifying and horrible season. So yeah.
I will say one thing in addition to that, though, as well, is that the current Celtic manager, completely forgotten his name because of how relevant he is.
Postecoglou.
That's the one. He's actually got a better managerial CV than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Better CV, but he doesn't seem to be doing well.
Before he went to Man United. It's crazy to think about.
I think the thing is he was in Australia and he's been in Japan. It's not exactly the two greatest leagues, in all honesty. I would actually put the Chinese Super League up there.
Apparently he likes attacking football. Where's the evidence?
There's actually something that I went a bit unknown about him. Is that I did a bit more intel on this guy when he got hired. He was a manager. His first ever job was in the China Super League, and he was sacked after 23 days because he didn't know how to do it. He didn't know how to do training. He had to get an assistant coaching in his second job to lead the training to learn off him. So,
Seamus, I don't know. I absolutely don't know. Rangers will win it by more points than last season. I just give them the trophy now.
What happened to Eddie Howe? They were linked to him for so long. What happened to Eddie Howe?
Can afford him.
Yeah, of course.
Their squad, by the way, cost 60 million. Like the squad that actually started cost 60 million. Have a guess how much the Rangers squad altogether was worth when they played Livingston? Have a guess.
I will guess 15 million.
You're actually very close.
14.
20 million. The entire Rangers starting 11 in the squad. 20 million that actually played.
Aye.
That says all just how fair they are.
Yeah. But you have to say that it is just... I mean, Celtic fans are in for a long season, but we move on to a game at Ibrox where Rangers strolled. Really, it was a 3-0 win over Livingston. But Reese, you're not actually going to give me stick because obviously it is only the first game of the season. But you actually were impressed. You actually were impressed with Livingston.
It's my local as well. I was impressed actually. There was a few things I was slightly not impressed with. The Lewis challenge on Hadji, for example, that annoyed me. He took him out of the game, and I don't know how long Hadji's going to be out of the season for a while, but he was outstanding in that game. Some decent players though. I thought Lewis still had a decent game. I thought Strolled was impressive. Hamilton, as soon as he came on, real threat on Balogun. The young goalkeeper, I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Stryjek.
Like the 3 goals conceded, I still thought he had a very good game as well. Command his box. Just need to get more out of the midfield. But other than that, I thought he was impressive. But the Rangers team, they should have been 3 or 4 up in the first half, really, in terms of like the chances. But to be fair, 1-0 into the half time. Not particularly bothered, still leading. But the second half, we took our chances much better. But Livy were decent despite losing. So we'll see where you build from there. But Rangers, the way they started, didn't surprise me. I thought Fashion Sakala was fantastic again up front. I look forward to seeing him. I thought McLaughlin, when needed, was decent. Like as a backup goalkeeper, he's trusted.
Yeah.
I did have a problem with Bassey as a left back. I don't think he's there yet.
Yeah, I thought from watching the game, like his crosses are not Barisic. He's not Bernard Barisic. Let's put it that
definitely not.
But a couple of times he I think he waits too long. There were times where he could have hit first time, and then there was times he could have actually gone past the player, but instead he kind of waits. Waits until like the I think it was Devlin at right back. I think he was just waiting for him to put a foot in, but went out for a throw, and then he's a
bit hesitant. He's a bit hesitant, but he is quick though when he gets the ball at you though. Like we've seen that a few times. Like he can either attack from the width or he'll cut in. I thought the way he played through the middle was showing his physicality as well. Like you had to physically bring him down just to stop him. I like that. He links up well with Joe Rebo. I like that, and I thought Stephen Davis again was outstanding. Like that man, you just can't stop. You just can't stop him. But in terms of like who needs to get up to speed a bit more, I thought Wright a little bit, even though he scored. Kamar Roof's got fitness, but he imposes himself so easily. But he's not going to play for us in Europe until the group stages, so at least we can still use him in the league.
I think it's safe to say Ryan Kent is just unplayable. Absolutely unplayable.
Best winger in the league.
Yeah. Actually, Tavernier as well, the best right back in the league. But as I keep saying to loads of Livingston fans, I know I'm not on the forums of Livingston fans, and honestly, you don't really want to be on them because it's quite interesting. Yeah, it's toxic.
Was there any manager out? Are we into that stage yet?
No.
Thank God, that's all right. It's not that bad.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. But it's not about these games. It's about the games that determine our season. It's against the likes of St Mirrens, the Dundees, the Dundee Uniteds. It's those kind of teams. So I'm not any worried at all. Have a lovely night, lads. Fantastic show as always. Got to help me, Mar. All best chat. Thank you very much, Jack. I'm a fan of Fashion Sakala. What a player and what a name. I think that's the best named player. But I'm going to actually ask all of you this. Josh, is this the strongest Rangers side you can remember?
It's the strongest in a while. Like, I actually have it on my screen here. Give me 2 brief seconds. My friend sent this into the chat last night, which it made me quite. It made my eyes bullshit. This is the Rangers. This is the Rangers backup team. This is the Rangers backup. This is the second team, Jericho Field. So it is.
See if I can guess some of it.
Let's see. Yeah, so McLaughlin, Barisic, Halder, Katic, Patterson, Lundstrom, Jack, Arfield, Wright, Morales, and Etten.
Swap around just a wee bit. It would be Bassey as the
That's
backup left.
Sir Klopp, he was a bit rash. He got a yellow card and then was substituted before nearly getting sent off.
He was rash, I'll agree, but he started putting a decent performance. I think it's a good start though, but it's to go to a relentless championship winner team as well. It's not easy.
Think about that team. Lundstrom, obviously, very, very experienced. Katic is good on his day. Arfield's a great player off the bench. He's had some great performances for Rangers. Morales can do it on his day. Etten's a up and young coming player, very, very talented. Wright's very good. Barisic has done it. That's Jack. Obviously, very unfortunate injury that means he missed out on the Euros with Holland. He's a class midfielder. How does anyone beat that Rangers team? 20 consecutive victories at home. That's history in the book. That's history in the books. Fans are back in Ibrox, which makes it even tougher. It's incredibly hard to see how this Rangers team does not win the league. I honestly think they're going to win the treble this year. I think their domestic cup nightmare will finally be over. It's very difficult to see how they don't win the league. I wouldn't be surprised, Doug, if you beat Livingston, if you get a double win over Celtic this year. To be honest, in 2 home games, that's your 2 home games. That Rangers team's going to win. I'll say that the Rangers will win the league by at least 10 plus points, probably more, but I'm going to go 10 just so I don't throw it out. Rangers going to correct me and say 20 plus. Yep, there we go.
25 points again, just like last season.
Wow. It could be very, very interesting indeed. But Nathan, Rangers the strongest side ever, or not?
Based on the Scottish League, this is probably the strongest Rangers side in a long, long time. But only one that I think challenges it in Scotland is that Celtic team around the late noughties to early 2010s. I thought that could give it a good run in contention. But yeah, this Rangers team is something. Yeah, and they got a push in Europe, I think, as well.
Other results, Ross County drew 0-0 with St Johnstone. St Johnstone missed a penalty. Ali McCann blazed it over the bar, and it was a 0-0 draw, so not very good. Dundee's return to the Scottish Premiership was a 2-2 draw with St Mirren. Eamon Brophy took the lead for St Mirren. An own goal by Joe O'Shaughnessy got it to 1-1, and then a very debatable penalty, it had to be said, for St Mirren. I can't remember who was challenged, but Jason Cummings went in. It looks not a penalty. And Jamie McGrath scored, and then Jason Cummings, of all players, to score the equaliser for Dundee.
Doug, I have to ask you this question. Do you ever watch Sports Scene, the Scottish version of Match of the Day?
Yep.
I watch it every Monday, so I had to ask. I was just really curious because I think some of the pundits they get on. I'm not sure really. Some of them are really, really good. Yeah,
I would definitely say, but obviously, I'm not really keen on Michael Stewart. I don't know what Reese thinks about Michael Stewart. Michael
Stewart he's the new host, isn't he? Compared to Jonathan, I think he looks so awkward.
Stephen Thompson, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of the other guy. I know.
Michael Stewart. Michael Stewart is not a great pundit anyway. Aberdeen beat Dundee United by 2-0 with very good goals, actually. Lewis Ferguson over the top. Johnny Hayes, I forgot he was still playing, for goodness sake. Johnny Hayes got the first goal, and then Christian Ramirez. I think this is one player which me and Reese actually said that could actually tear up this league, and he scored the second with a very good header.
Smart signing from the MLS. Very smart signing.
And what a game at Fir Park. Motherwell 1-0 up, then 2-1 up, managed to lose 3-2 against Hibernian. So Hibs fans, you'll be hoping that you don't have games like that every single week.
I'm worried about Motherwell. Seriously. Last 2 seasons ago, under Stevie Robinson, they were really good, really young, up and coming team. Last season, things were derailed really, really badly. do you think they're on in this season? Defensively, they look really, really suspect. Very little experience in the back line. Not much goals in them. I don't think they have a particularly set forward system. They'll obviously not get relegated or anything, but I think they could potentially finish in the bottom half. High Birmingham under Jack Ross. Yeah, European trips going extremely well for them right now. I generally think they could fight for Celtic for that second place this year. They're looking very good under Jack Ross this year.
I think so as well. I am a bit worried in Mull, but I had them 5th this season, so it's not a good start. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from, because defensively they weren't great yesterday. But then again, neither were Hibs. But it was a fantastic advert for Scottish football. Now, I am bringing a news section into this because it's going to be called In Other News. Now, there was a game in the Championship where Raith Rovers were 4-0 up after 65 minutes, and Hamilton got them pegged back to 4-4. Nathan, I'm going to ask you this. Have you ever been to a game where you've been 4-0 either down and then you get it back to 4-4?
I've seen it where we've been 3-0 down and we've come back to 3-3, and that was Cardiff City versus Leeds a few years back. Oh, the absolute limbs when that Robert Glatzel goal went in. I think we've even done it ourselves where there's been a 4-0, 2-0, we bottled it. Yeah. But yeah, these things do happen, and it's just when you just completely switch off, get a bit cocky because you know that, we're going to win this, might as well put off the gas and put the youngsters on. But no, any team can come back.
Yeah. What about you, Reese?
Not that I've been to, but I have seen a few for teams that I either follow or support. The obvious one being Bayern Munich 5, Leipzig 4. That game ended. That was game of the season 4 years ago. It was the final day as well. It says, really, the game of the season was the final game of the final game of the season. Try to think of another one that stands out. I do remember that. Yeah, that one stands out.
We always lose to Peterborough.
Hello, Paul. Hope you're doing well. We'll get you back on here as soon as possible.
I do remember one that's that was funny.
Oh yeah, Cheikh Tiote. May his soul rest in peace.
There is actually one game that stands out. That is a Rangers game. Funnily enough, it was 2-0 up and then we lost 6-2. So that's one that's horrible. But in terms of bottling a high level team to a draw, not really. But there has been some games out there. Group of death, to be fair.
I'll tell you something, that would be quite some group.
It would only be group of death if you swap Bruges for AC Milan.
I have a very good one that I was at Glenavon Coleraine last season, for fourth game of the season. Coleraine went 2-0 up within 3 minutes, so we're thinking, here we go, Coleraine are going to smack us. Coleraine went down to 10 men, Glenavon brought it back to 2 each. 10 men in Coleraine then went 4-2 up. Glenavon bring it back to 4 each, and then we missed a penalty on the 93rd minute to win the game.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I do remember actually, though, Man United Leeds, though, finished 4-3. Early 2000s. That was literally just goal after goal. That was just goal. Boom, seal it.
I remember being at a Rangers Livingston game where Rangers went 4-0 up. I think Arveladze got a couple, and I think Ferguson scored a free kick. I remember this very, very well because we actually missed the first goal go in because we were late getting into Ibrox, but we missed the first goal. We saw the second goal, and then we saw the third goal. I was like, why did we even bother coming? But then the fight back started with Rolando Zarate, Barry Wilson, and I think it was David Souza.
Was that the 03-04 season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, now I remember which one you're talking about, because if I'm right in saying, it was Arveladze that scored, Ferguson scored a free kick, Michael Moles scored, and Mikel Arteta was man of the match.
Yeah. Motherwell 6. I remember that game as well. I remember watching that game as well, which is mental. George,
there's been some crazy games like.
Can you ever remember a game where Manchester United were either 4-0 up and then it was pegged back to 4-4 or 4-3?
I don't think I can, to be honest. I think obviously I've been very fortunate, obviously, that over my lifetime, United have, for the most part, have done very well. So we've never been in that situation where obviously there was the despicable, 6-1, a very, very dark day in history. But there's never really been a time where obviously there was the famous Tottenham game, obviously, where in fact James has literally just brought it up, obviously a 3-5, when obviously Sir Alex was like, lads, it's Tottenham, and then obviously they I think there's also been all sorts of stories how they just knew that Man United were going to, obviously next goal was going to come back and we score within like about a minute or two, and obviously the rest is history. And there've been plenty of famous Manchester United comebacks, but in terms of obviously losing a lead of that magnitude, I mean, I think obviously the worst one, from a high profile perspective was, that obviously the Champions League when Barcelona, beat PSG.
Everton.
Obviously when they won the first leg 4-0, and then that was the 6-1, and that's probably the worst one that I've seen in terms of the likelihood of that happening was just, completely, was just so minimal. And so that's probably the best one that I've seen in terms of like a comeback of where you think the game's over, but generally speaking, at a high level, that it just doesn't happen. But it can happen sometimes, and obviously you're so ecstatic if you're on the winning team, but obviously you're so disappointed and gutted if you're not.
James, I seem to remember at that game, I think got Paul Hint sacked as Blackburn manager. I could be completely wrong there, but I do remember there was a game where Paul Hint was Blackburn manager. They lost to Wigan, and he got the sack straight after that.
Absolutely. There is actually one game that does. No. I'm not going to include a game where Steven Gerrard's goal was offside is the greatest comeback of all time. Behave yourself.
Oh jeez, Norwich 4, Liverpool 5. What a crazy game that was.
I watched that game on TV. I was like his club smoking something heavy because that was awful defending.
Absolutely. Kelty Hearts have started well with a 2-0 win over Cowden Beef, obviously managed by ex-Rangers player Kevin Thompson. How far could Kelty Hearts go this season, Reese?
I would say the top half of the league, but I don't particularly know what their backing is going to be like in terms of actually properly backing him. It's going to be difficult, especially with the league they're in as well. There's a lot of interesting sides, and Cowden Beef are no slouches, even though they got a decent result.
Yeah,
it just depends on where they go from here, but I would say maybe top to the middle half of the table if they can maintain consistency.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Liverpool, Barcelona, of course. I think.
Wait till the Messi fanboys come in and say that it's the game against PSG.
Oh God, yeah.
Which was by far the worst game of football I've ever seen by complete stupid cheating referees.
Yeah, exactly. Right, I am going to pass you now to my co-host Josh, and it is time for the thing that I think everybody has been waiting for. It is our 21-22 Premier League prediction. So over to you, Mr. Bell.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So of course we've got the massive Premier League predictions coming up here for the upcoming season starting on the 14th of August. Massive season and a lot of coming ahead. So what we will be doing is we will be going from Doug to Nathan to Reed to George as we go from 20th working away up. Please put your predictions in the chat. Please try and put your predictions somewhere down where you will remember them, because me and Doug aren't capable of trying to keep up, trying to write all your predictions down in the chat. So if you can please write your predictions down somewhere on your phone, on a piece of paper that we can come back to in probably this time next season. So we're going to start off with number 20. Obviously Doug has released a video. I do highly recommend you check that out. I hit the like button on that video for Doug's predictions video. So Doug, who have you got finishing rock bottom of the Premier League season?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say it's Norwich City. I don't think they have strengthened well enough, and losing Buendia, they could be potentially losing Todd Cantwell as well, which could be a very, very significant blow. I worry about Pukki. If he gets injured, then I think they're definitely going to struggle. Billy Gilmore is going to be very, very good in that midfield, but for me, I just think Norwich have got too much to do, so I'm going Norwich City for 20th.
Nathan, who have you got finishing down and joining you in the Championship next season?
Well, let's just say Everyone knows my opinions about this team. Norwich City finishing bottom. Style of play. Timu Pukki being allergic to scoring goals in top-flight football. Losing Buendia. Defence. Yeah, they're finishing bottom.
Reece?
Same again. They don't stand a chance.
George, have you changed yours since we last?
I haven't changed mine, so I'll stick with Watford.
Watford.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, my bottom team is Brentford, simply because I think yes, Brentford are very, very, very good. I think Brentford are coming up. They're going to live on the highs. I think their home form will be very good, but I just think they're going to just lack. I think they're just going to lack that experience, and I know about defensively. I'm a bit worried, but I think they're coming up to the Premier League to more enjoy their time rather than try and step in the league. I think they'll enjoy the occasion. Newcastle, what's an interesting one?
Newcastle, that is possible. Not made any signings. James going with Norwich. Elevator Kid saying Norwich will be bottom. Norwich will concede a lot of goals. Shane O'Donnell saying Norwich. Yeah. I have Palace rock bottom, says Kean. They have a squad as old as time. It's also as small as a fire ant. Couple that with an experienced Patrick Vieira at the helm. It could spell trouble. Suits me, though. Evening to Chris Welsh. Wow, the disrespect towards Pukki, says Michael talks football. Do you remember the corner taking quickly? Origi, yep, absolutely. Chris Welsh going for Norwich. So the majority of us have got Norwich City.
As I said Brentford. I just think Brentford's budget and the squad, I think it's going to be too much. But maybe Evan Tony can make the difference. Right, number 19th, Doug, who have you got also going down?
I have the team that seems to change managers every single season that they do. It is the Hornets, Watford.
Watford, Nathan.
Quite a surprised one, I think. But looking at the squads of the other teams and where they slide in, especially with the ones that have come up as well, this is going to shock a lot of people and make one man on this podcast right now very happy. Burnley.
Wow.
Burnley.
Burnley.
Could you please dive into your reasoning for this?
Yeah, the signings haven't really impressed me in this particular window. They're starting to sort of dip down the the table ever since they finished in that 7th in that Europa League places. And if there's a season that this Burnley side is going to go down, it's going to be this year. They concede a lot of goals, and looking at the other teams in the Prem, the number of goals that these teams are capable of scoring is absolutely soaring through the roof. They're going to have a hard time, especially if they lose one of their strikers this year. I think they're going to have massive problems. 19th.
Bluebird Legends asking you a question. Do you have any information on Frank Onyeka from FC Midtjylland? Is he any good? I take it he's signing for Cardiff. Is that right?
He's a good player. He'll do well in the Championship. He's a very, very technical. He's a very technical player. Good mindset. Reads the game very, very well. So if he does sign for Cardiff, that's a very, very good signing for Cardiff.
Fair enough. Chris Wilson also Norwich for the 20th as well.
Oh, can we just say Keane said, "Oh, please God, let Burnley go down." All right, Reece, hey, have you got Burnley going down 19th?
No, I've got Watford.
You've got Watford, okay.
Yep, they're going up and straight back. Came up, straight back down. Honestly, they flip between leagues quicker than a none changes or draws.
And Mr. Kyle.
I'm sticking with what I said before, so 19th will be Norwich.
And I am with Mr. Kyle. I've got Norwich going down 19th. I feel like they'll be slightly better to win a couple more games. But Timo Pukki's going to score no goals. He dukes in the Premier League. Defensively, they are absolutely awful. And Billy Gilmore do well, but they're nah.
Chris Welsh says Brentford 19th. Elevator Kid says Watford. Shane O'Donnell says Watford. James says Watford. Brentford says Seamus. Hella says Watford. I have Norwich 19th. Don't know why. Would be true to form though. I'm not surprised. I say Burnley 18th, says Elevator Kid. Oh, please God, let Burnley go down with Nathan on this. We'll move on to 18th as well.
Moving on to 18th, Doug. Who's the last team going down?
I actually think this might surprise a few people. I've got Brighton.
Yeah, I do join you on that, Doug. I also have Brighton going down in 18th. Nathan?
Quite a controversial one here. Crystal Palace.
Wow. Oh, Ali will not be pleased to hear that.
Not controversial.
I'm going to clip on sell it to him. Reese?
Was this 18-5? Burnley?
Yeah. Burnley.
Fuck off, you happy place merchants.
George?
I am sticking with Brentford as I did before, so that will be for me all three promoted sides going down.
So we've gone for we've gone for Brighton. Why do you believe that?
I feel that they haven't strengthened near enough. They've got Danny Welbeck, who can't stay fit to save himself. Neil Mopey, who can't hit a barn door at this moment in time. They've got Aaron Connolly, who apparently has a Love Island girlfriend. I've been reading into this. Honestly, I don't watch Love Island, people, but I do know about that.
Yeah, well, it is supposed. Oh, don't. She's the most annoying thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm not surprised he's going to have the worst season of his life being with that.
I think if they manage to strengthen in the striking department, I mean, there's been talk that Edward might go there, and there's talk that apparently Nat Phillips might go to Brighton. Then they might change my mind. But at this moment in time, I cannot see Brighton doing well this season.
I think last season they finished scarcely bottom to the relegation, so I feel like the goal scoring is going to be a big issue for them. I think they're going to concede more goals. Yes, we laugh at 50 million for Ben White, but he is a big figure for Brighton. So I feel like that's a massive.
The Fran Onyeka is apparently signing for Brentford, Josh.
That's fair. That's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
I look forward to seeing him. So that's a question. Well, Nathan, you're apparently banned from watching Love Island on the big TV.
Oh, come on. I don't even watch it. This is just research online, mate. It's called looking into Brighton's season and where they're going to fail this year.
So I think Brighton are just going to... I think
Love Island watching dogs make love to cats.
I think Brighton will just struggle to score goals, and I feel like they're going to concede a lot more goals. I think Robert Sanchez is going to struggle this season too. Nathan, who did you have for 18 again? I think I've wrote it down wrong.
18 out of Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I wrote it down wrong. Let me just correct that so we don't come
Palace
back.
Palace had also keeping them up last few years. Vieira hasn't got the experience to keep him in the league.
Reece, I have to ask you, why have you got Burnley going down? Is it because you simply hate them, or do you have legitimate reasons?
Yeah, I hate them. No, I honestly don't think they're good enough for this league. The style of football they play bores me to death. I would rather watch Tom Daly do diving. Like that's my opinion of Burnley. They've been in this league 7 years now, and they've never maintained up as like any style that you would actually.
Go for Newcastle 18th.
Wow,
I've actually got them considerably close to that.
Moving on to the teams who survives by the skin of their teeth. Doug, who just survives the Premier League?
I've got the new boys, Brentford. I think they are going to stay up. I think they are going to be one of the ones that actually stays in this league. They have signed well with Ayer. Looks like they're getting that Frank Onyeka, which is a very good signing from Midtjylland, and they have Ivan Toney, so they're going to be very, very fun to watch. I think Ivan Toney is definitely going to be a fantasy football favourite. So I think Brentford will stay in the league. Yep.
Obviously, Rich, you obviously got to watch them against Man United at Crystal in that pre-season game against United at Brentford. I know also their full team, but they're definitely keen to attack, even on the big stage. Nathan, who survived? Nathan, who do you think is surviving by the skin of their teeth?
By the skin of their teeth, on their second manager of the season, Watford.
Okay, Reece.
I got Newcastle in 17th. I don't see anything. In all respect to Steve Bruce being a Man United legend, as a manager, he's shit. And
George.
The football isn't good enough either. Their number 9s aren't particularly good enough. I don't trust Callum Wilson to stay fit, and I don't trust Joe Linton to score goals. I mean, spending 40 million on him, that's embarrassing.
George?
I'm sticking again with my previous prediction, so I've got Burnley. Obviously, Nathan and Reece have gone through it as well. They aren't very appetising to watch at all, but for me, I feel like they always tend to sort of grind out results, and that's why they've stuck around for so long. But obviously, so I feel like 17th for them.
17th, I've got Newcastle. I'm gonna say a stat that's gonna scare people. Newcastle have played 6 pre-season games. They've only won 1 of them, and they've lost the other 5 to teams championship and below. And the Steepers played a back 5 in a friendly against York City, who's a non-league team, and lost the game. So they're in for a very long season. They aren't going to score. Callum Wilson will probably be injured. They're not going to score any goals, and they're just going to stay up because their squad's too good to go down. And just can we say hi, Steve Bruce, by the way, for anyone who's unaware, is going to be
goodbye, Josh.
before the season begins.
I have absolutely no idea.
I don't even know what he just said. He was actually going barn, 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 barn.
Did you guys hear it, or did Doug? Did you hear it, Doug?
No, you conked it, so I don't even know what you said.
Oh, you didn't know. Okay, Steve Bruce has been offered a 3.5-year deal before the season.
Oh my God! Really?
That was
Are they offering him a 3-year contract? A 3-year contract at KFC, because I know that makes sense.
Yeah, Hoffenheim scam Newcastle with Joel. He's going to be what, Josh? He's going to be what?
Happened.
What's he going to be, Josh?
I don't know what happened to him. Right, 16th, Doug.
Actually, give me a minute. 16th, I have Burnley. I think they will go up a place. I think they'll survive. Sean Dyche knows how to stay in this league. So I am going to say that Burnley will stay up in 16th.
Nathan?
16th place, I have gone for Steve Bruce's Newcastle United.
Okay. Reece?
Who have I got in? So there's a 16th, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, that aging squad, they'll last one more year, and then they're going down. One more year in the Prem.
Do you see Patrick Vieira surviving the season?
Sadly, I don't. I feel for him, he's doomed. He's never been in this sort of position before, where he has to rebuild a club that's struggling. Where they've
I will say though, bringing in Elise from
players, he's fucked.
I will say though, bringing in Elise from Reading is an absolutely brilliant signing. The only thing they're going to struggle with is Eze being out until January.
Yeah, and they've still got Wilfred, overrated Zaha as well in the squad.
Yeah. Don't get me started on Wilfred Zaha.
Exactly.
You know how we both feel on him, mate. You know how you both feel.
Exactly the same, obviously, as I had previously. So I've still got Crystal Palace. Same sort of things as Reece has said, really. Very aging squad, but I think they will still be fine for another season. And Patrick Vieira, I don't think will stay in the job for the rest of the season. So.
I've got Watford. Watford have still got a good core for their Premier League squad from the 2 seasons before. Some good players. Some players have been in those situations before. The manager situation will change, but that always seems to work for them in the Premier League. They've still got a good core Premier League, and their whole form will be quite good with the full stadium. So I feel like Watford will be. It'll be close, but they'll be okay. 15th, Doug.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to read the chat for 16. Palace for Shane, Brentford for James, Watford for Seamus, Brentford for Elevator Kid, Brighton for Kian, Sebastian says Watford, and Chriswell says Burnley as well. 15th. God, I only made the video of the weekend, and I can't remember. I've got Southampton, but this is a big if. If they lose Danny Ings, I think they'll go down.
All right, Mr. Morgan.
15th, I have gone for Brentford. 2 words: money ball.
All right, Nathan. Not Nathan. Reece.
I might just ignore you from now on. 15th, I've got Brighton purely because they've not got a number 9 that gets them many goals, but they should still have enough to stay up. If they can get a number 9, they'll be fine. But if they've got a brain, avoid Odsonne Edouard.
Yeah,
George.
I would agree.
And I'm sticking with what I had obviously earlier in the week, or last week, I should say. So I'm sticking with 15th as Brighton. Obviously, a good side and obviously play some reasonable football, but they're all sort of in and about there again. So, and I expect them to stay about there. So
this has matched on 2 of them, Mr. Kyle, 2 in a row.
On to we're starting to hit the mid-table stride. So on to number 14.
Yeah.
Who's your 15th?
Oh, sorry, Palace. Sorry, my apologies, Crystal Palace. I think Palace. Palace have found some good young players. Defense is still okay. Grahit is in goal. The only issue is striker though, Benteke.
My top 10 is going to shock you, lads. I swear, my top 10 is going to shock you.
Here we go. So Hella says Brentford. Shane says Newcastle. James says Burnley. Seamus says Newcastle. Elevator Kid says Brighton. Sebastian says Brentford. Newcastle in 15th. If they lose Wilson or Saint-Maximin for a long while, though, they're buggered. I think that's the safe to say.
Mind that show I said, it was before it was after international break, the last one, I said losing Saint-Maximin's worse for Newcastle than it is losing Callum Wilson.
Wait. Chris Bell, 15 Brighton. Saw some people put them high in the table, which is baffling in my opinion. If Brighton get a proven goal scorer, should stay up comfortably. Don't get that they're in a relegation battle. We're just going to 14th anyway. And 15th, Kaustab Pardeshi says Newcastle.
If Brighton get a proper number 9, because they always seem to Nathan can back up on this one because he looks into a lot more than I do, and he knows I absolutely hate the XG. But the XG argument, Brighton always overdo their stats. So if they get a number 9 and they actually convert those chances, they could get close to 10th. They're not going to get there, but if they get a proper number 9 that can actually convert those chances, they'll do better.
So what about 14th, Douglas?
I have Newcastle United in 14th. I said this in the video. They always have a patch where you least expect them to get a result, and they always do it. Last season, Everton away, West Ham at home, Liverpool away. I think they might have got something. I think against Villa, if I remember rightly, as well. They beat Spurs as well, 1-0. So they've always got a knack of staying up, and I just feel that Callum Wilson being number 9, Joe Linton being number 7. Like Joe Linton being number 7, I think he's going to have a better season. Seems to be scoring a lot in pre-season. So, but for me, I'm going to put Newcastle 14th.
All right, Nathan.
Just to keep the football hipsters happy, I have put Brighton in 14th. They have the tools there. They have Neil Maupay. They do have a number 9. But as I always say, style of play means nothing in football.
All right, Reece.
Tell that to Guardiola and he'll hang you. I've gone for a shocking 14th. I have put Wolves.
Wolves.
That's fair enough, actually.
I put Wolves in 14th, and this is not down to the manager. It's simply the wingers they've got to feed through Raul Jimenez isn't enough, not creative enough. The only one maybe is Neto. I don't think Podence is particularly that good, although he is better than Adama Traore, but to be fair, who isn't? I think if they lose...
Good evening to Sophie. Hope you're doing well, Sophie.
Good evening.
I think losing... Potentially they could lose Raul. I think they could lose Raul Jimenez. If Harry Kane does go, I think Spurs will snap him up instantly. I think Neves to Man United is likely as well. Although to be fair, he ain't my first choice. But if it happens, that's 2 key players for them lost again. Traore is useless. They're better off getting a sponge. They're better off using a sponge.
As
a winger.
I will say this now. Did anyone see my chat with James from Sweet and Sour Soccer?
Mm-hmm.
He is convinced that Wolves might go down. He said to me 17. He would take 17th right now. And funnily enough, I know Sophie's in the chat. She says to me her dad is very, very fearful for Wolves this season. Yeah. I don't know if it's because of the new manager or that.
This is the best way to sum up is this: 4 words. No more Rui Patricio.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They sold a proper good goalkeeper.
The other guy who I spoke to from Spins or Scott, he's a bit more hopeful, but he's kind of the same boat that he was he would take 15th, 16th, because he doesn't know where the goals come from with that Wolves team at the moment, because obviously he's obviously come back from a very, very serious injury. Reece, have you got any shock 14th place?
My shock 14th is Wolves, mate.
What is Wolves?
I've got Wolves in 14th.
Ooh,
honestly, I think who I've got above them is going to make it more interesting.
George?
I will stay with 14th as Southampton.
Southampton.
I've got Burnley. I think Burnley will be Burnley. I think they'll not concede many goals and they'll score many goals.
Burnley will be Burnley.
And that one literally...
As long as they beat Liverpool again, I'm not bothered.
Well, they'll get a classic 3 points off Chelsea this season. I'm absolutely convinced about it. They'll probably get a good result.
Let's see your Let's see if anyone actually got any shocking 14th. Brighton, 14th. Brighton actually should have them lowered down. Says Seamus. Chris Wells says Southampton. Cian says Southampton. Elevate Kid goes Newcastle, same as me. Hella goes Palace. James goes Palace. Sebastian's gone Southampton, but their squad depth is worrying. Yep, absolutely. Wolves could finish lower than 14th, says Bluebird Legend. Crystal Palace says Kausta Pardeshi. Sportcat 1 says Wolves. I think that's it. So we are on to number 13 now. Unlucky for some. Is it going to be for this team? We'll see.
Well, the number 13 for Doug, who have you got?
I have got Crystal Palace. I think they have recruited really, really well, and I do think that they are going to have a fun season. Ali sounds very optimistic about Palace's chances, and I absolutely agree with him. I think they could get some scalps this season. I really do.
Hang on.
What?
Honestly, any fans of this team should take this position and run. Southampton.
What the fuck?
With the way they played against us the other day, absolutely superb. But they got to keep Danny Ings on form, otherwise Che Adams is going to take his place.
It's a fucking glass.
To be fair, it does actually look like a test tube from
What is it you're drinking?
Amber.
What is it you're actually drinking? Is that beer? Amber.
I'm drinking beer. That's Amber.
What is your 13th place prediction?
The new boys. Brentford.
What's your 13th place prediction?
Brentford.
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 That's very high. That's very high up. That's right.
Nathan, did you say Southampton for 13th?
Yes, Southampton for 13th.
Southampton, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm giving Brentford the benefit of the doubt. I think they've made some very smart signings. They've kept Ivan Toney, which is
I agree.
Their best business,
yeah.
And also getting Kaya in for centre back is fantastic because he's mid-20s as well. So he's not even hit his prime yet, and he's experienced. He's won trophies. He knows how to get a defence going. I think that's very good for them. It's just a matter of consistency, and they like to attack teams. So if anything, it should be good. They just need to ensure the defence is stable and they don't concede a lot of goals. But I honestly find they could push the 11th to 14th positions. That's why I've got them in 13th. I think they'll be around there. I think they've got a very good chance.
That's fair enough. Josh, who's your 14th?
All right.
13th, sorry.
Need George's first.
So my 13th, I've got Newcastle. Obviously, same sort of reasons as Doug. They all seem to string together a good, frame of results to get somewhere in and around there. So I've got them 13th.
My 13th. This is my controversial long. I've got West Ham. No signings plus European football. No signings plus Europe. Look at think about Burnley and Wolves when they had to try and handle
No, West Ham have a better squad than Burnley do. West Ham will be fine.
Bearing in mind when Wolves were in Europe, they finished 7th.
West Ham will be fine.
No, I don't know because they have not signed anyone. If Antonio gets injured, they've got no backup striker. David Moyes is going to Yarmolenko struggled. He hasn't done anything good for West Ham. he doesn't do anything good for
It looks
West
like they're
Ham.
going to get Matthias Pereira in, though, from West Brom.
It looks like it.
So let me get this straight. You have put the team that finished 6th in the Premier League last year to drop 7 positions. I admire you.
Because of European football, they'll not handle the Europa League and the Premier League at the same time. It's the same.
Usually, though, West Ham make an early exit.
They're in the group stage. They're in the group stage. Yeah. They're not in any qualifiers. They're in the group stage.
Yeah. The group stage.
And they've got a manager that knows how to organise a defence.
The group stage is damaged. I know you're traveling in that group stage, especially if you have to play the same 14-ish players time and time again.
I think the delusion of winning the Champions League has got to your head for now putting West Ham to the 13th. I'm totally gutted. To be fair.
Everyone had West Ham getting relegated last season and they proved off the shock. Honestly, I do not think they'll finish as high as they did last season. I think European football have its effect on them.
We will
right, let's catch up. Let's catch up with some comments. Chris Wells says 13 Crystal Palace, same as me, which will shock a few of you. It's a controversial one. It can go very well, but can also go very bad. It's a very risky appointment. Vieira could be good, but allowed to be De Boer again. Jose Sa is good, but I don't believe he's on Patricio's level. No, absolutely not. Shane O'Donnell says 14th Southampton. Hella says Wolves. Why is Reece drinking from a test tube? Read that already. Sebastian 13th Wolves. Shane O'Donnell 14th. Oh, Chris, you're joking.
Oh, what a shame. Now you're going to have to keep him.
Just a luck. Seamus Moore says Southampton. 13th Southampton says Elevator Kids. Oops. The chat is just going away from me right now. 13th Newcastle. I have Burnley 13th. Much as I hate them, he just constantly survives. They're like cockroaches. You just can't kill them.
I still think the best one is Costaber. How pronounce your name? Sorry, I butchered it. But that's got to be the absolute. That's better than
13th Southampton.
I did mention it in the private chat. Norwich 13th.
I'm sorry. Are you like what? Norwich 13th. I'll have whatever you're drinking, my friend.
I didn't warn you.
Jeepers.
I'll give credit.
Ambitious.
I'll give credit though, right?
That is very ambitious for
Josh
for Norwich. Right.
Now this, I got to applaud it.
Number 12.
Yeah. I'm going Aston Villa for 12.
Oh, okay. Does that drop if they lose Jack Grealish?
Not necessarily. I do think they've got a good goalkeeper. They've got good defence. They've actually got a very good spine of their team with Douglas Luiz and John McGinn in the midfield. And then obviously you've got Trezeguet. You probably have Buendia and Watkins. I think Aston Villa will be fine. I don't see them in any relegation trouble whatsoever.
We'll just say Leon Bailey. That was some signing from Bayern.
Oh, fantastic!
How on earth have they done that?
Nathan,
signing.
Nathan, could you inform us of your number 12?
My number 12 is Wolverhampton Wanderers. They should be a lot lower, but with the squad they have, I've got to put them higher. I think their manager could be in trouble, though.
I'm going for my Austrian sensation drinking his Red Bull. I've got Southampton in 12. I like Hasenhüttl. I like Southampton as well. I feel for them. Like they've got rich owners. Like they've got rich owners and they don't actually spend properly to improve that squad. Shame on them, arseholes. But Mr. Hasenhüttl, keep them in 12.
Yeah,
George.
And I'm sticking with what I had last week. So 12th will be Aston Villa. Obviously, very similar reasons to Doug. Good spine. Obviously, they'll be nowhere near the relegation zone. I think even if Grealish leaves. So yeah, 12th Aston Villa.
My number 12 is Wolves. Good, really, really good midfield. Attack does work. At the back they're okay. Midfield they're really good. It's just the striking issue. They have big attacking issues. But Fabio Silva is a young, promising striker. While Jimenez could find his form again, I think a mid-table finishes there. But definitely the times off there. Good times under Nuno in terms of vision for Europe is passing.
My next 3 positions are going to raise eyebrows.
So 12th Southampton says Hella. Sebastian says Wolves for 13th. Pereira to West Ham incoming. Yep, definitely. I'd be trying to get Origi to West Ham, and to be honest, he's suiting Moyes' football to a T. Yep, absolutely. Possibly the first or second choice. Absolutely agree with that.
He does need a striker. Always thought Antonio. Does he still have the walking attempt at Jesus in Carroll?
I don't think so. Origi's got the Kate virus. That's quite funny. Norwich 13th! That was my exact reaction as well. Look what you've done, Pardeshi. You've murdered Doug's ability to speak. Yep, absolutely.
We should all applaud for
12th Everton.
Yeah, I respect that after what's about to happen.
12th Wolves, 12th Everton, 12th Wolves, 12th Wolves. I have Everton 12. Sorry, James. My only regret is that Rafa won't be able to relegate the feckers. Leon Bailey to light up the Premier League. Mr. Rapid, absolutely. Shane O'Donnell, Wolves 12. Kane, I haven't got Everton high up either, so no worries, man. You'd be surprised. Hassan, who underrated manager, done a class job at Southampton, in my opinion. What if Villa managed to keep Grealish and then Leon? Then they could be higher. Then they could easily be higher. James, you don't like Rafa, do you? As well. Right, 11th place now.
I'm going to get hated by the next 5 minutes.
I have gone for Wolverhampton Wanderers. I am not in agreement with everyone else that they are in deep, deep trouble. I think they'll have a good season. I just think they'll just miss out on the top 10, though. So I'm going Wolves in 11th.
Yes, if you're looking default there, could you let us know?
I'm just changing a few of mine. In 11th, I have gone for Leeds United.
That's lower than I expected. Could you give us a quick
it's just the same. They have sort of built on from last season, not as much as I expected, though. And if you look at some of the other teams around them, that's probably the highest I can give them at the moment.
I might have done Leeds justice. I think I've done Leeds justice. I've got Everton in 11th place.
Yeah. Could you please give us an explanation?
They've went from an Italian don to a fat Spanish waiter. I don't. Half of their to be right. I was saying all respect. He will improve them defensively, right? It's the exact opposite that I'm more concerned about his goals. And when you've got Richarlison as a backup, that doesn't strike as good enough for me. He's overrated. Bernard is shit.
He's very well in the Olympics.
Aye, that's the Olympics, mate. Like there's a difference.
Yeah.
Like I don't rate Bernard. I don't rate Bernard. I don't rate Iwobi. I don't rate hardly any of their defence. The only ones you could actually say are actually worth watching is, even for half the time, is Coleman, Digne, and Godfrey. I don't rate Michael Keane as a partner. They need somebody there. I don't rate Pickford. He's pish. I don't rate their midfield particularly, except James Rodriguez and Allen. They need more there. They already have a guilty midfielder. Sorry, guilty until proven innocent. We don't have enough there. I don't particularly think they've got enough quality in their squad, and I genuinely fear for Everton. Like, regardless of here's another thing as well. Who brings in Demarai Gray to challenge in the top 10? I'm sorry. Give your head a wobble. Townsend as well. Feck off. Everton are fucked. They're again outside the top 10 this season.
George?
I'm going to stick with what I had last week again and echo what Nathan said, and I'm going to have Leeds 11th. I think if they have the similar sort of tactics as they had last season, obviously score almost equivalent goals scored and goals against, wasn't it? So with that sort of a record, you're always somewhere in and about that mid-table area. And I just think that the other 10 teams, a bit like Nathan sort of alluded to as well, I think the other 10 teams I've got are going to finish higher. So yeah, I've got them 11th, which is not too bad really for Leeds.
To the top half of the table, Doug, who is your first team in the top half?
Who's your 11th place? Sorry.
I keep forgetting this. I get Villa. I've got Aston Villa. I write my predictions. I write in my predictions before I ask you guys. I keep forgetting to read it out. Number 12, number 10, Doug.
I'm going Leeds United. I think they will just scrape into the top 10 this season. I do think that they will have a very good season again. Have to improve defensively, but they're very, very fun to watch. So I'm going Leeds United.
I think he's crashed again.
I think he has as well.
Nathan?
10th place, I have gone for Everton.
Hello. There you go. Come for the blue side and merge side. Reese?
I'm going to put 10th. I originally had them in 9th, but you know what? I'm going to put them round. I'm going to put Aston Villa in 10th.
Oh, okay.
Okay, George?
I'm going to stick again with what I had previously, so I'm going to have 10th as being West Ham. I do think, obviously, Nathan, you sort of brought up as well, I think that West Ham will probably get eliminated quite quickly, so they won't have as bad a season as some might suspect, trying to juggle those, obviously, the two contributions to Europe and to the league. But I don't see them having as good a season again this time round. And I've got quite a surprising one in 9th, but I'm gonna leave. As I said,
my 10th Southampton. They'll do fine. I feel like
Southampton. Wow.
I love this prediction right here. I love this one. Right here.
Apologies, I haven't actually read out people's 11 places, so I'll do that very, very quickly. So Hella has gone Arsenal. Very interesting. Is there a chance that Arsenal could get relegated?
Hope so. Hope so.
Sebastian, 11th Arsenal. 11th Aston Villa, 11th Leeds, 11th West Ham, 11th Leeds, says James. That would be so funny. Just missing out there. Everton finished 12th, same old mediocre season for Everton. Calvert-Lewin gets injured and Everton are screwed. Yep, elevator kids is Aston Villa, 11th Aston Villa. A lot of people have actually gone for Aston Villa, 11th, funnily enough. As well, would be good to have Everton get relegated. And 10th place, people saying Everton, Seamus Moore, Shane O'Donnell saying Leeds, Hella saying Everton. Imagine we see Everton and Arsenal relegated in the same year. That would be hilarious. 10th Everton. I'm just being honest about my club. Rafa's got a tough job in his hands. FFP is our problem when it comes to signings. Richarlison being at the Copa America and Olympics, will he be knackered? Yep, probably will be. Indeed. I hope I have Arsenal finishing 10th only because I would find it endlessly hilarious. 10th Leeds, 10th West Ham, 10th Arsenal. Get out, you freaks of nature. I had them 7th, but nah, they can get effed. Very interesting. 6th, 13th could honestly be anyone, says Neil. So we move on to 9th place. My 9th place is Everton. I actually am going to disagree about Rafa. He is a very, very good manager. I think he will do well with Everton. And I am actually saying this now. Damari Gray, Andros Townsend and Asmir Begovic are sensible signings. Squad depth is absolutely key when it comes to this league. I'm going Everton in 9th place.
I can see why you'd say sensible, but they're sensible and then there's completely inconsistent, and I don't think they'll deliver. I mean, Begovic maybe if he plays, but I don't see Damari Gray being a good signing unless he has an absolute worldie against Liverpool and then ends up getting them relegated. Although or whatever. But just kidding. I can see where you're coming from. I don't particularly think they're good enough, but he might get something out of them. I mean, it could have been worse. He could have signed Jose Perez.
Yeah.
Nathan?
9th place, I have gone for West Ham United. I mean, we discussed it all before. More than likely an early exit from Europe, and they're going to have another solid season.
Reese?
Arteta's at the wheel. I've got Arsenal at 9th.
Even without European football and some okay signings, you've got them finishing lower level.
I think the cone abuser. I think the cone abuser is going to struggle. I don't think Arsenal have got a hope in hell unless something goes horribly wrong in the league for teams above them. I don't particularly think they're good enough.
Nathan, for George.
I'm going to stick with what I had last week again, and I'm going to say Wolves to finish 9th. I think they've had a couple of, obviously, they had some really good finishes. Not last season, obviously, when they fell off a bit, but obviously the previous 2 seasons they were 7th twice. So I think obviously they have got some good pedigree of finishing near there or thereabouts. And I think they will have a good season. So that is my slightly surprising pick, but I'm backing it for Wolves for 9th. But as Neil said as well, just very quickly, Josh, as Neil sort of said, 6th to 13th, I mean, we're all sort of, I think those places are all going to be really close again in terms of points, and there could be some real, it was very close last season. They'll be close again. So yeah.
My ninth place team is Leeds United. They'll score a ton, they'll concede a ton, they'll finish in that position. But I'm going to throw a cherry in. I think they'll get to at least the quarterfinals of the FA Cup this year.
Let me just check the ninth place teams as well. Seamus Moore says Leeds. Chris Ross says Wolves. Shane O'Donnell says Everton. Elevated Kid says West Ham. Beyond the 90 says Tottenham. That would be hilarious. Cowstub says Leeds United. Ninth, Aston Villa, says James. Very interesting. That's a very good tune, Douglas. Don't do that again. I have Leeds in ninth again. More of the same. They'll continue to be a pain in the arse with the teams higher up. I'm trying to decide, will Spurs finish ahead of Arsenal or the other way round, says Seamus Moore. Gray isn't a Premier League top half quality player. He's too inconsistent. Gray got single figures for us over 5 years, single figures for assists and single figures for goals. Oh, jeez. Ninth, Tottenham. Yeah, we've already said that. Begovic is supermarket stock filer. Townsend, Deadwood, mediocre signing. Gray wastes potential, but entitled to your opinion, Doug, for so-called ambition. Everton have them signings not good enough. Yeah, I just feel they are very, very sensible signings, but that's just me. Demarai Gray scored 22 goals and 260 appearances. Jesus Christ, that is not good.
That's a good return for a player that's Nigel of Joelinton.
Yeah. Doug, who have you got narrowly missing out on the European Conference League?
I have West Ham United. I think they will fall, but I don't think they're going to fall near enough to what you thought they would as well. I'm putting West Ham 8th.
Everyone has a controversial prediction of West Ham's mind. Nathan?
Well, I've got loads of controversial predictions. One of them's in 8th and one of them's in 6th. In 8th, I've gone for Arsenal.
Arsenal.
All right, George. Reece.
Yeah,
now you said George first. I'll allow it.
All right, okay, go ahead.
So I've gone 8th, being Everton. And obviously Doug copped a lot of flack for putting Everton at 9th, so I'm going to presumably get a lot for putting them even one place even higher. But I think Everton are always sort of there or thereabouts. Again, you can sort of interchange. I think from about 8th maybe to about 12th, 13th, you can sort of interchange them quite easily. They're all going to be with a few points of one another. I think Everton do have, I think Raphael will do a good job there, is my prediction. And again, ready to be thrown stones at in the chat as always, but I think Everton 8th for me. I'm going to stick as that.
Reece?
Same as Doug. I got West Ham in 8th. They're not going to drop that far, you absolute vile human being. Just because you won the Champions League doesn't mean you're going to get every prediction right. Although, to be fair, you're up against me in head-to-head. You don't stand a chance anyway.
Yeah, I didn't do very well against George in the
Although, in all fairness, I agree with Doug. I don't see them dropping too far. I think they're recruiting smartly as well. They just need a backup striker for Mikel Antonio. In fact, no, I'll go one further. They need a striker to replace Antonio and then put him to the bench where he belongs.
Wait, they're recruiting smartly. They've only signed Areola alone. It's the only person they've signed.
Pereira is what I'm saying, though. They're about to recruit Pereira, and that for me is smart recruitment. So,
my 8th place is Arsenal. For anyone who's aware, Arsenal played their cup final on Saturday against Chelsea in a pre-season game. Arteta played his full team. He didn't take them off until the 75th minute after. In his post-match interview, he was saying it was a very, very competitive game. It was a very good test for Arsenal against the champions of Europe. Apparently that was their cup final against Chelsea in a pre-season game, and they still couldn't beat a team that had Danny Drinkwater and Sabra Costa in the second half after Chelsea won 2-1. So Arsenal were in the bin. Arteta.
No, it's like
it's probably going to have his head in other editions.
Yeah, Hella says Leeds 8th.
I must be doing Leeds justice this season. What the fuck?
James Dunlop is saying West Ham 8th. Chris Ross is saying West Ham as well. Villa 8th. Everton 8th. Arsenal 8th. Everton, Aston Villa and 8th. They're only going to get better, which would be a worry for the big six. Leon Bailey's a cracking signing as well. Yep, absolutely. Me too, Nathan. 8th, Arsenal. We will come on to that very shortly. No Reece, stop that. I'd be nice to Arsenal putting them 10th, says Chris Welsh. Hello to Helen Raybold. Hope you're doing well. Helen, she says hello to chat. Not even the computer wants to listen to Josh to talk about Arsenal. Josh sees 35 million for Drinkwater. He's worth every penny, says Neil.
He was so bad against Arsenal. It was unreal. Against Bournemouth, he played well. Against Arsenal, he was atrocious.
Here comes the agenda.
Spot, Doug.
7th place. They finished there last season. I'm going to go for them again to finish there this season. Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay. Nathan.
Exactly the same prediction. 7th, Tottenham.
All right, Reece.
However, could be lower if they get rid of Kane.
Okay, this is when it gets interesting. I've gone 7th. Leicester, just kidding. I've gone 7th. I've also gone for Spurs because my 6th place team is going to shock you.
Not George.
I'm going to stick with my last week again. So 7th will be Arsenal for me. Obviously, it's again they're sort of bigging up Ben White as the next big thing, but it remains to be seen whether he will be.
There's no way he's worth 50 million.
The thing is, they always do this with centre backs. Though they've had so many over the past few years. Mustafi's one of them. They were sort of bigging up. Obviously, a World Cup winner, saying he was incredible. Wanted him gone soon. Exactly the same with Rob Holding. They've had so many defenders that haven't worked out. I think, obviously, if you throw enough crap at a wall, eventually some of it's going to stick. But I think it
says it all really that they signed. It says it all really. They signed Saliba, who's more famous for having fun in the dressing room with his teammates and caught on camera and getting put on the bench, to then being loaned out with an obligation to buy, then getting picked for Arsenal. I mean, if your name's William Saliba right now, you may as well change it to William the Bench.
Right. Right, so my 7th place.
Your 7th place team is we didn't hear it. No one heard your 7th.
It's Everton. I just have a good feeling with them. I just have a good feeling with them under Raphael. I don't know why. I don't know why. I just have a good. It's just. I have no. I have no legitimate reason. I have no legitimate reason except for the fact I feel like Rafa Benitez will do a better job than Ancelotti did. Simple as.
Nathan is.
Hella says Tottenham. Seamus says Tottenham. Arsenal says Shane O'Donnell. James says Arsenal as well. Kirsten says Arsenal. 7th, Aston Villa as well. 7th, Aston Villa. I've also gone for Spurs in 7th. They come a long way from the Champions League runners-up yet. That's quite funny. 7th, Arsenal. Lebe here says Carlos. Welcome, Carlos. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for predicting LFC in the top 6. Makes me so happy. Yeah,
I done it to be nice.
Racist Chelsea in 6th, probably. Yeah, probably. Spurs won't be 7th. Arsenal signed Brighton, best centre-back for 50 million. Brighton deserve credit for scamming. Arsenal, Leo done it for Nicolas Pepe. Has Reece picked Watford yet? Yes, he picked them for 19th as well. White is great, but he needs a leader to train him, and there's too much pressure on his shoulders. Brighton, best centre-back, Lewis Dunk. Yep, absolutely. Josh, I hope your prediction is right by the end of the season. Everyone finished closer to 17th than 7th, says Yeti boy. Someone called the mental police. Josh has lost it. Oh dear, I have a good feeling of Everton. Josh, famous words, famous last words.
I just have a good feeling. That's literally it.
Ever for me for 7. I think a few teams will surprise this year. Interesting.
Right, on to the Europa League spots, Doug. Who's your 6th?
I think I'm going to get a lot of stick in the comments, but I've got Arsenal. I've got Arsenal to be above Tottenham.
Ooh. Okay.
Actually, saying that, this is the most controversial prediction of the whole video, but there's reason for it.
Chelsea,
6th place, Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, okay.
Wow.
That's all right. Fair enough. Nathan, I don't even Reese. Reese is froze, right, George?
That is actually,
I'm still coping with the shock of hearing the words Arsenal in 6th place.
Reese, what's your 6th place?
Leeds United.
Leeds.
Wow.
Okay. All right. George.
I have gone 6th, being Tottenham. Obviously, I think will finish just above Arsenal, who I had in 7th. A lot of that, though, will depend on whether they hold on to Harry Kane, because I think he's going to be a massive loss to them if they do lose him. Because obviously, previously I made that prediction when it didn't look like he was going to, but I didn't realise he was going to not turn up to training today to try and force it. So, yeah, a lot could depend on that. But yeah, I've got them just above Arsenal in 6th, so Tottenham for me.
I've got Spurs too. I feel like Nuno is okay. He's safe. He's a safe manager. He's a
safe manager. I like that.
With the squad they've got, and if they get Christian Romano in, they'll do all right.
6 West Ham, 6 West Ham, 6 Spurs, 6 Tottenham, 6th Tottenham, 6th Tottenham. West Ham 6th, don't look like getting any worse. 6th Tottenham. West Ham will be higher than Spuds. Nathan has the same feeling as me about Aston Villa, but I put them 7th.
That
Villa
front four, if Grealish stays, though.
A real good side, yep. Spurs for 6th unless Kane goes and they have a bad window.
Getting Paratici, though, I think he'll be fine.
On to the second Europa League spot, Doug.
Controversial alert. Chelsea.
Okay, all right.
I honestly say this now. Chelsea don't sign a striker. They are not finishing top 4.
Yes, he's finally left the building.
He's left.
That's actually the best thing that happened to this show in the past 1 hour and 46 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to say I watched the game at the weekend between Arsenal and Chelsea, and I tell you something, the lack of cutting edge from Chelsea is extremely worrying right now.
Can you put me full screen for 1 second? There's something I want to say to Josh.
You want full screen?
Mm-hmm. He's not going to like this. Apologies for the flashing. It's not my fault, it's the camera. This is for you, Josh. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm done. I'll not have to say those 4 words.
Yeah.
Where did Josh go? Did you want to knock on his door?
You know what's funny is you've got drink water. You've got drink water. You've got salter. Now you just need pepper. Then you'll have a salt, pepper, and drink water. That'd be a good combination.
Yeah. Nathan, who's your 5th?
My 5th place, Chelsea.
Oh, thank God.
Oh my goodness. Nathan agrees with me.
Absolutely. I mean, Timo Werner.
Don't slag him.
Right. 5th place, provisional. Unless Timo Werner gets his shooting boots on, then you might finish 4th. You might. But you're missing Giroud. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're missing Giroud, a proven goal scorer at this level. Tammy Abraham, you know how much I dislike that man, but yeah, no chance at all.
I have to say one thing, that Giroud came off the bench, scored with his first touch for AC Milan. You're missing him badly this season.
He's going to win us the Serie A.
And Doug, as you've seen against Arsenal, Tammy Abraham's decision making was awful. Yes, he scored the winning goal, but some of his decision making was absolutely atrocious by Tammy Abraham. The sad thing is, I don't know if you watched the whole game, but Batshuayi was actually better than Tammy Abraham when he came on. Batshuayi was actually better than Abraham. So, I think that says it all. Reese, you've got Chelsea on 5th, don't you?
No. No, I still think they will for one more season.
Leicester.
I think one more season, and then after that, next year, I think next year Liverpool are going to fall at the top 4. That's next season, not the season. But yeah, I've got Leicester in 5th. I've still got Leicester in 5th, yeah.
And Kyle?
I've got Leicester in 5th, same as Reese. Obviously, same as last week as well, as I said, was predicted then. Obviously, perennial also rounds really. I mean, obviously 5th again. I think it'll be a hat trick of just outside the Champions League. It just seems like whenever they have that opportunity, you always think it's their time, and maybe it will be this year. But I just feel like again they'll just struggle to break the top 4, which is going to be the big 4 again, as people might be able to tell from the 4 teams.
The new big 4 as well, because it's been the same 2. Sorry, it's been the same 4.
Yeah,
past 2 seasons, just different order.
Yeah.
Josh, who's your 5th place?
Okay. My Liverpool could screw you, dog. No, I'm joking. That's Leicester.
To be fair, they were close last year.
Nathan picked Chelsea for 5th as well. Don't say screw you. To me,
yo, Doug, I hear there's a vacancy for co-host of the World of Football podcast open. I believe I'll take it.
I'll sign up as well.
Right, let's see your 5th places. This could get interesting. Hella agrees with me and Nathan. She says Chelsea. Shane says Leicester. Helen Rabel says Arsenal in 5th. Seamus Moore also says Chelsea. Kirsten Pardesi says Manchester United. James Dunlop says Leicester. 5th Leicester. 5th Liverpool. Neil, you're not coming on this week. No, I'm joking. Leicester 5th again. Sorry, fellas. Just think United have actually done some good business for once. I have Leicester for 5th. Sorry, Doug, you're losing it solely, mate. That is the Caramac. Where did Josh go? The drink water knock on his door. Josh, do you think Lukaku would return to Stamford Bridge? Asks Paul.
Yes.
No, he's not coming. He's not coming anywhere.
Oh, he's definitely coming back, mate. You're going to sign him for 100 million. We're going to take 43 off you.
If Chelsea struggle at the start of the season, Abramovich will sack Tuchel, says Seamus Moore. I actually thought Reece was going to say Liverpool 5th. And now we are on for 4th place. So, can anyone really guess who I've got 4th place?
Chelsea.
Finally
Liverpool.
see them doing it. Leicester City.
They could. They could.
Leicester City. I've got Chelsea in 4th. Nathan?
3rd time lucky, Leicester City.
Reece?
I think you might see a slight resemblance to last year. I've gone Chelsea in 4th. And you're going to finish 10 points behind Liverpool.
George?
I am going to have Liverpool in 4th. I've got a sneaky suspicion. I mean, obviously you've already I already spoke about it sort of last week. I feel like Liverpool, and Reece obviously mentioned it as well, that they might drop out the top 4 next season. I feel like Liverpool are in a stage of, and hopefully this is not famous last words, but I feel like they are in a slight state of decline. And I feel like the owners aren't necessarily. Obviously, when you bought Van Dijk and Alisson, that was a serious statement of intent. But I feel like Liverpool's owners aren't necessarily backing them as much as. That's probably why they were quite keen to join the Super League, to try and obviously get some extra money.
Oh, God,
I feel like
Super League, and yeah.
The new training ground would be important.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So let's see, 4th place. Shane O'Donnell says Chelsea. Chelsea. Sorry, why am I saying Chelsea? Beyond the 90, didn't you predict us to finish 13th last season? Leicester will get 4th, we get a right winger. 4th Leicester, 4th Leicester, 4th Manchester United, 4th Leicester. Liverpool 4th is all about signings for me, says Curlers. Fair enough. 4th Leicester City. Man United in 4th. As good as their new signings are, their midfield and other defenders still aren't good enough for me. 4th Manchester United. Go on, lads. Third time's a charm. We hope. Lindelof and Bailly aren't up to scratch. Absolutely, would agree with that. No, actually, Chelsea 4th. I go Manchester United 3rd, says Chris Welsh. Ronaldo, a big loss for Liverpool. Yeah, I think in terms of consistency and reliability, I would definitely say so. There were times last season where I think his head was turned a little bit, so I can see why he has left the club.
Free.
Sorry. Oh, third. Manchester United.
Is that because of Solskjaer?
Yes, to a degree, and they have to win a trophy this season. Whether it be a League Cup, whether it be an FA Cup, they just have to win a trophy this season. Otherwise, I think Solskjaer's gone.
No, he got a new contract, so he stands. Sorry, George. Nathan, who have you gone number 3?
Well, I can't believe I'm saying them in third with who they got in charge. He's allergic to trophies. I'm going for Man United. And not only that as well, they are not getting a trophy this season.
Right.
Bye-bye.
I've got Liverpool finish third.
George?
I am sticking with last week again. I've got, which is, again, slightly controversial and the best, and giving Josh a bit of a lift, I've got Chelsea in third. I suspect, obviously Reece has sort of mentioned it as well, and I think so as well. I think Lukaku or someone of that nature will still come in. And I think that will help to resolve Chelsea's attacking problems. Obviously, Werner, again, not quite been in the races for Chelsea, so far in his career, but he could find form again. And I just think with Chelsea, they've got a good identity. I think they'll progress, they'll push on. A better squad, I feel like, than Liverpool. So that's why I've got them slightly higher in third.
My third is Manchester City.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Really?
No, Liverpool. It's not Liverpool.
Jesus Christ, Josh. Right, let's see what some of you are saying in third place. Third place, Manchester United, says Shane. Hella says Liverpool. Seamus says Man United. Third, Chelsea. Beyond the 90 says Manchester United. I'm going for Chelsea in third, mainly because the others aren't good enough to catch them. Carlos agrees with me. The CDM issue will make United third. If they get a CDM, I think they will be higher. Third, Manchester United, I think they will win a trophy personally. Chelsea have to sign a striker. I would absolutely agree with that. And I think third, Liverpool. Well, thank you anyways, Josh. Yeah, okay.
Right, run us up to the lead, Doug. Liverpool or City?
Liverpool.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the Liverpool fans in the chat, but I just feel we're just not going to do it this season. I think you have to say that the African Cup of Nations is in January as well. So we're going to miss Salah, we're going to miss Mane, we're going to miss Keita as well. I think luckily, yeah, Matip. Actually, Matip's retired from international duty anyway. But yeah, I'm going to put us second. I think we'll have a better season this season. Famous last words. But I feel that we will just finish second.
Neil, I will marry you. I will marry you, my friend. Fucking second place. I'm like this fraud to my left, Doug, in fifth place. Reece, not Reece, Nathan.
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Sorry, to do in the league. Mr. Reece, are you going to be passed?
No. But what I'm going to say, though, is if Man United sign a DM, we win the league. But on the grounds of it, no. I'm going Man United second, and we're going to win the FA Cup.
Right. Now, George, have you changed your prediction from the last time?
I haven't, no. I'm going slightly biased. I'm saying that Manchester City will be finishing second.
Are you going to say we're going to win the league? Mate, to be fair, I would want to go by to say we win the league, but until we get a CDM, I think we're not. I don't know, but if we get a CDM, we're definitely going to be. We are the challengers to Man City. No doubt, like in all fairness to Liverpool and Chelsea, aren't there yet. I think we are I think we're much better in terms of squad. The only difference is we don't have the holding midfielder.
Yeah, I think I mean, obviously, logic would dictate, which I think all of you are going to go for in a way. Logic would dictate would be Man City because obviously they've spent the most out of any team in terms of squad. Probably going to spend another 100 million on Jack Grealish. That's probably going to be accepted. Potentially also as well Harry Kane. So they obviously on paper you would say Manchester City, but I've just got a good feeling about United and
see if we're still in like within 5 points in the league in April, we're winning it. If we're within 5 points, say whoever's top in April, yeah, I honestly think we will.
Chilly Heatwave, isn't it? Chilly Heatwave, I like those ones.
But at the moment, I'm going to stick second, but I'll say this: we're going to be within 5 points.
Still got time, Cowstub. Still got time.
If we win the league, I will not let it be. I will not shut up if we win the league.
I have to ask you because you were talking about DM. Sal, is these links true, false, negative?
Oh, they're true. Yeah, they're true links, but it's a matter of what they expect to do with them. I think United really don't understand what the words holding midfielder is, because the players they're looking at: Yves Bissouma, Ruben Neves, Saul Niguez, Camavinga boy. What do they all have in common? They are not defensive midfielders.
So two bits of news. Chelsea have been warned it will take an offer of more than 100 million to tempt Inter Milan to sell Romelu Lukaku. And Kilmarnock have scored against Ayr United in the Championship. 1-0, Liam Polworth with the goal in Derby night there.
I just want to say something, curlers. There is no financial fair play anymore. If City want to go and get Kane and Grealish in this transfer window, they can do it without hesitant.
Just very quickly, Josh, who do you think then Chelsea will buy if they're not going to spend the money on a striker such as Lukaku? Who do you think will actually come in for that? Because obviously Chelsea always do tend to spend big, don't they? And it's Tuchel's first summer. So who do you think they will bring in?
No one. No one.
Remember what I said on one of our very last podcasts.
Yeah,
Harry Kane goes to Man City. Romelu Lukaku will then join Chelsea, and then Erling Haaland will come to Man United.
That's the perfect dream for me. I want Erling Haaland.
Haaland will go to Man United.
Haaland's done. Chelsea have given up on that. That's confirmed. Like, Lukaku is a possibility, but it's like basically to get Lukaku, you're talking about a 20 million euro difference between Haaland and Lukaku. I don't see Chelsea doing that. It just doesn't make sense.
Really?
No, because Haaland's 150, Lukaku's 130. So
you'll get Lukaku for a bit less than that, to be honest.
No, Inter Milan will try and keep him for one more year. Next year, maybe, not this year.
Josh, is your second place Man City? I take it. Man United, sorry.
Manchester United.
Man United.
I think it's going to be close between the top two. Obviously, I want to say Man United win the league, but I have to go with logic purely because they've destroyed the league.
So I think everyone bar George, I think, is Man United. I think.
You know what? Fuck it. I can't. I don't care about logic. I've done it for every other position. Fuck it. Swap me round.
United to win the league.
I've had it. I've had enough. If you don't back your team, to win it, then there's something wrong with me. So, fuck it. Let's go for it. Man United to win the league.
To be fair, I was actually being reasonable in my options to choose City as champions again.
I had you as third. That was reasonable.
Liverpool second. Liverpool, Chelsea. No, don't see that. Chances aren't done yet, so things could really change. City second. Honestly, that's probably heart over head, but I can't bring myself to say it. Man City will retain the title. City second for me. Really depends on who they sign, but I said that we will come off. I will maybe missing Kate regardless. First Man City. Fourth to second will be tight. Second Chelsea will miss clinical SF. Naby Keita going to Africa Cup of Nations is going to be a massive miss for our local Liverpool hospital workers. Thanks for the offer, Josh, but I don't do long distance relationships. No one touching City again.
I think people need to.
Manchester United are massively biased.
You know what's funny, and I say this in the rightest way, is why are people so afraid of Manchester City? Like, like, why should you be afraid of them? Like, that's like people going into Europe saying, "Oh, we're afraid of Barcelona, we're afraid of Real Madrid," and all that. Like, there's people that say they're afraid of Juventus and all this.
Yeah.
Like just because their teams are like good on quality doesn't mean they're no unbeatable. Everyone said that, oh, they were going to win the quadruple last year. They're going to go invincible. They're going to go and break Arsenal's record. This, that.
Yeah.
Like, I've had bigger shits than Liverpool's success. I've had bigger shits than Arsenal's success in recent years. But it doesn't mean that's unbeatable. Obviously, I'm going to back my team anyway. But if you put logic into it, Man City win the league. If you put heart into it, you pick your own team. But I'll say this: if Man United want to win the league, they need to get a defensive midfielder and not a cheap shit talent. He's got to be like the absolute best in the position, or at least up there. Yeah. Like if Real Madrid are doing a fire sale, take Casemiro for all I care.
Yeah,
he's one of the top three.
Absolutely.
I'd take him.
So yeah, well, we'll obviously come back to this in May, and we'll see how close everybody is. But that is it for the first World of Football podcast of season 2. Thank you very much to everyone in the chat. Thank you to the crew as well. Josh, from obviously the Josh YouTube channel, got anything coming up on your channel very shortly?
I'm doing a watch along for the Spurs friendly on Wednesday night because we're parading the Champions League trophy in front of the Spurs, which is just incredible. I will have a preview for that game, and then I will have a Glenavon preseason match day vlog coming out when we travel away to Crumbling United tomorrow, the preseason game. It's going to be a dead game, but at least it's a vlog, and it's more for practice for my behalf than anything else. So if you're interested in enjoying that, of course, it'll be there on Wednesday night.
Absolutely. Nathan, whose season starts on Saturday at home to Barnsley in the championship. So we'll obviously have a vlog from you. But yeah, just tell us everywhere where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. First vlog of the season, starting on Saturday, of course. Well, obviously I've done the preseason ones, but new camera, new seats. It's going to be great, guys. And then after that, we're also playing on Tuesday night against Sutton United in the Cup. That's going to be an interesting one. Of course, remember a few seasons ago with, what's his name? Shaw, the goalie who ate a pie on the sidelines. Yes, we're playing them at the Cardiff City Stadium. So that video will be out next Wednesday. And then the following Saturday, a big one. It looks like we're going to be going to Blackpool away. So our first away vlog of the season will be out next week.
A trip to the seaside. Yes, Chris Welsh. Good luck to Carlisle United as well.
Below, guys.
Reese, you are. Oh well, let's be honest. You are on a few channels now. Tell us what you will be doing as well.
Well, Reese has an announcement to make about my channel too, which you may want to disclose with everyone else.
Oh, that I'm not doing it. Yeah. Okay. I've got a few actually. So I host 3 podcasts now. I have my Twitch channel. I am now pretty much a supporting act everywhere. Okay, so let's go with the usual suspects. So Twitter, usual. Twitch, obviously, everyone knows me. _lightning 1997. You can find me on pretty much. You can find me on Josh's channel, where I will be the host of the new United content. I'm taking over the channel for that, so it's going to be purely United guest stuff. George, you're not invited. Just kidding. You can also find me hosting if you're not familiar with it, the London Lowdown, which is an all London clubs podcast on the weekly Armchair Sports Talk, which is every Tuesday. I'm hosting the Tuesday pre-season warm-up show next week, which is going to be a blast. You can also find me on the same channel, where I've got another pod coming out next month. And what else is there that I can think of? You can find me on a few other channels, but to be fair, the ones that really matter are these ones in Rich Sports channel. But Weekly Armchair here, Josh's channel, Twitch. Put it this way, the man don't sleep. The man don't sleep.
The man don't sleep. The man don't sleep. Indeed. Hello to Mohammed A. Kieran, thank you very much for the 2 euros. I think that's a euro sign, isn't it? Yeah, it is a euro sign. Euro. 2 euros super chat. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. George, thank you very much for coming back on. You got anything planned in the nearby future, or?
Not particularly. No. If you see any sort of Ollie out protest or brigade, I'll be holding.
Promote the Gold Show. Promote the Gold.
And of course, yes. So Josh and I do the Golden Show, which is obviously on the Blue Podcast football channel. So do check me out and Josh as well on that show, as well as the
breaking news about Tom has very important exams coming up, so I'm now the temporary. I like the game. I should have liked it the worst possible moment. Tom head of the Blue Podcast has currently got exams, and I'm taking over. I'm taking over it for the next 2 weeks under my leadership.
Done.
So yeah.
For anyone that has an axe and requires to grind out and get some damage, go and follow Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. But guys, thank you very much for watching. If we have missed you in the chat, then we obviously don't do it on purpose. Then obviously leave a comment, and I'm pretty sure the 5 of us will be able to reply to your comment as well. But it's been a very, very good first podcast of the new season. We'll be back same time next week. But until then, from the 5 of us, it is goodbye.
This has been